Welcome back to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we've got something a bit different. We're looking at excerpts from a daily Zodiac forecast for June 28th, specifically. And our mission, well, it isn't really about predicting your future, right? It's more about finding those interesting little nuggets of insight.
Exactly. Maybe even some practical wisdom you can use today, whether you follow astrology closely or, not at all.
So what's the starting point?
Well, what's fascinating is how these daily bits, even from something specific like astrology, often tap into really universal themes.
Like what?
Things like focus, how we use our energy, relationships, stuff we all deal with.
Okay.
And today, we'll see some common threads pop up, guided by what the sources say about the celestial influences for the day.
It's about seeing what clicks for you, personally.
Obviously, see what resonates.
All right, so where do we begin? What's the main influence for June 28th, according to these forecasts?
Okay, so the big one highlighted in the material is the moon in Virgo.
Moon in Virgo. What does that generally mean?
Well, think about it. The moon often relates to our emotions, our gut feelings, daily rhythms, and Virgo. That's the sign known for being meticulous, practical, analytical.
Details. Organization.
Spot on.
Yeah.
So when they combine, the focus naturally shifts to, organizing things, both inside and out.
Okay.
Our sources actually describe it as asking us to, quote, slow down and organize your life.
Slow down and organize. Interesting combo.
Yeah, focusing on the details could be work, could be your diet, maybe just running errands.
Right.
And the key idea seems to be that small wins will lead to big results.
I like that. Little steps matter.
Exactly. It's flagged as a day for meaningful structure and letting clarity be your guide.
Okay, let's unpack that for you listening. Even if you're not charting the moon, that idea of a day for grounding yourself, for organizing, finding some clarity, that sounds pretty useful, honestly.
It really does. Paying attention to the little things might just unlock something bigger.
So how does this Virgo moon energy, this focus on detail, actually play out for the different signs? What specifics do the forecasts mention?
All right, let's dive in. We can maybe start with a few signs where the sources suggest a real push towards practical action and getting things done.
Okay, who's up first?
Let's look at Aries. The advice there really hits that theme. Slow down. Focus on details.
Work, diet, errands, the same things.
Yep. And again, that promise. Small wins lead to big results. It seems like it's about taking that typical Aries drive.
Which is usually fast and furious.
Yeah, and channeling it, making it more meticulous, less of a sprint, more like building something carefully.
That's a great way to put it. So Aries, maybe breathe before you leap today. For you listening, this really shows the value of patience, right? Methodical progress, step by step.
Definitely. Then there's Leo. For Leo, the focus shifts quite sharply to finances.
Money matters. Okay.
Yeah, things like budgeting, maybe rethinking some expenses or planning investments. The goal seems to be clarity and confidence around money.
So not just cutting costs, but being smart, strategic.
Exactly.
A smart move today could mean good things down the road for Leo. But what does that focus look like? Is it sudden insight or more like sitting down and planning?
The forecast suggests the latter, more about deliberate planning for clarity.
And for you, the listener, it's a reminder that even small financial tweaks, if they're intentional, can really add up over time.
Absolutely. And then, fittingly, we have Virgo itself, with the moon actually in Virgo.
Their home sign.
Right. So their intuition, their energy, it's all amplified. The forecast calls it a personal reset day.
A reset day. Interesting.
Yeah, a time to take initiative, set new intentions, really start fresh. It's like the universe is giving them a nudge to embody that organized, clarifying energy.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Virgo seems like it's your time to shine, right? Your moment in the moonlight.
Pretty much.
And for you listening, this highlights how sometimes things just align. There are moments ripe for personal change, and recognizing and grabbing them is key.
It's about seizing that window when it opens.
Okay, so we've got Aries, Leo, Virgo focusing on action, details, reset. What about signs being guided inwards? More reflective paths?
Good question. Libra stands out there. The advice is pretty clear. Step back, reflect.
Less doing, more being.
Kind of. Find ways to recharge, maybe in solitude. And definitely avoid overcommitting. It's all about finding mental clarity, spiritual balance, inner harmony over outer action.
Ah, peace and quiet. A little self-love. Sounds like something Libra would appreciate.
Definitely.
And it's a great reminder for everyone, isn't it? In this crazy busy world, we need that time for introspection, self-care. Sometimes just pausing is the most productive thing.
So true. And Aquarius is somewhat similar. Introspection is highlighted there, too.
How so?
They might feel drawn to uncover things, maybe old secrets, maybe resolving some emotional baggage. The forecast literally calls it a healing day.
A healing day.
Yeah, the phrase uses let go to grow, suggests a deep internal process might be happening.
Deep waters for Aquarius. But hopefully they feel equipped to navigate them. It really speaks to the courage needed for that kind of emotional work, and the growth that can come from facing that stuff.
Absolutely. Confronting inner challenges often leads to profound shifts.
Okay, so we've got inner work covered with Libra and Aquarius. What about signs where it's more about connections or creativity or just enjoying the day?
Right, let's shift gears. Look at Taurus. For them, the focus is much more on creativity and joy.
Taurus comfort zone.
Totally. Indulging in things like painting, music, maybe just watching favorite shows, simple pleasures. And romance gets a little mention too, a small boost.
That sounds absolutely perfect for a Taurus. Comfort, calm, beauty.
It really does.
And it's a good reminder for all of us, actually. Sometimes the most productive thing isn't hustling. It's just engaging with what genuinely brings you pleasure, what rests your soul.
Well said.
Yeah.
Then for Gemini, the focus is home and family.
Oh, the usually restless Gemini is nesting?
Seems like it today. The suggestions are things like nesting, decluttering the house, or maybe having some meaningful conversations with loved ones. The advice is to let the heart lead.
That is rare, but refreshing. It really underlines how important that foundation is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nurturing your personal space, your close relationships.
Definitely. It sets the stage for everything else. Then there's Cancer. Communication seems to flow really well for them today.
How so?
It's suggested as a great time for journaling, sending important emails, having those deep talks. The idea is that expression comes with clarity and ease.
Get those words out, Cancer. It shows how powerful, clear, authentic expression can be, right? For yourself and how others understand you.
Exactly. And speaking of communication, Pisces also has relationships in focus.
Another one.
Okay.
How's it different for Pisces?
The description for Pisces emphasizes communication that is gentle and clear, encouraging speaking your truth, but also listening with real empathy.
Gentle and clear. That's a lovely balance.
It is. It's about creating harmony, fostering honest connections.
Love flows today for Pisces, it sounds like. Keep that heart open. And for everyone, it just shows how crucial that kind of communication is, clear, empathetic in all our relationships.
Absolutely foundational.
Okay, so that leaves a few more signs. Who are we focusing on now? Bigger picture stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Signs focused maybe on growth, social connections, that sort of thing. Scorpio, for instance.
Okay, Scorpio. What's the vibe?
Social connections seem key. The advice is about reaching out friends, maybe group chats, networking.
Why? Is there a specific goal?
The forecast mentions that something valuable could come from a casual conversation. It highlights that serendipity in connection.
Stay open, Scorpio. You never know where the next insight or opportunity might pop up. Sometimes the universe does speak through other people.
Or just through those chance encounters. It really underlines that power of human connection, doesn't it? The unexpected turns.
Definitely. Who else?
Sagittarius sees their professional life getting a spotlight.
Career focus for Sag.
Yep. A focus on long-term goals. There's potential mention for recognition, maybe breakthroughs, but it comes with consistency.
So it's not just luck, it's effort paying off.
Seems to be the message. Steady effort leads to rewards.
Shoot for the stars, Sag. Sounds like a power day for work. And for you listening, it's a reminder of how persistence pays off in your career, right? Real breakthroughs often come from just sticking with it.
Absolutely. And finally, Capricorn.
The other hard worker. What about them?
They're encouraged to seek inspiration outside their usual routine.
Oh, like what?
Reading something different, maybe travel if possible, or just engaging in deep philosophical conversations. The source says their mind is hungry for higher learning.
Expanding horizons.
Exactly, getting beyond the day-to-day grind.
Fuel your inner sage, Capricorn. The world's your classroom. That really suggests that continuous learning, new experiences, looking beyond the immediate tasks, that's vital for growth.
Keeps things fresh, keeps you growing.
So if we pull all these threads together, Aries focusing on details, Leo on finances, Virgo on reset, Libra on reflection, Taurus on joy, Gemini on home, Cancer and Pisces on communication, Scorpio on connections, Sag on career, Capricorn on learning, Aquarius on healing. Wow,
It's quite a mix.
But is there an overarching theme emerging from all this tied back to that moon in Virgo?
I think so. If you connect it all to the bigger picture, there's this really strong recurring emphasis on intentionality for June 28th.
Intentionality, how do you mean?
Well, whether it's about organizing a desk or how you talk to your partner or managing your money or seeking out new knowledge,
Yeah.
the underlying theme across all these different forecasts seems to be about taking deliberate action and seeking clarity through that action or reflection.
It's almost like the stars, or these interpretations at least, are gently nudging you, nudging everyone towards being more present, more purposeful.
In whatever area of life feels relevant today.
It's not just the specific advice for your sign, maybe, but seeing this pattern, this call to mindful engagement across the board.
Exactly. The wisdom might be in that pattern itself.
Well, this has been a really fascinating deep dive into what the cosmic energies might suggest for June 28th.
It really covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, from getting clear on finances to deepening connections to those personal resets. The consistent message seems to be about grounding yourselves, taking those intentional steps.
Which does raise an interesting question for you, listening.
What's that?
How might your day feel different if you just picked one of these ideas? Even if you don't follow astrology, just use one as a kind of prompt.
Like a theme for the day?
Yeah. Just approach the day with that suggestion in mind. Maybe just for self-reflection, or maybe to guide a small action. How might things shift?
That's a great point. Perhaps the real magic isn't necessarily believing the stars dictate things, but maybe using these kinds of insights, wherever they come from, as just a simple, thoughtful framework, a way to bring a bit more focus, more intention into your own day.
Using it as a tool for mindfulness, almost.
Exactly. So, what will you choose today? Will you organize something, create something, reach out and communicate?
Lots of possibilities.
Keep your heart aligned. Keep your eyes open to the possibilities. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.